you can do with your dog before you ever even send your dog into training. While you're exposing your dog to chores and things like that, you can control everything with a long line. So this is a 30-foot line. It's biothane. I'm not sure how thick it is. The thickness doesn't really matter. That's up to you. What's the most comfortable for you? I like a light line, so I don't like it to be heavy, and mine does not have a loop at the end, so it's just flat on the end. That way, if I do end up having to let go of the line, there's no chance that it could get hung on anything because there's no loop in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a dog who I have not had on cattle before. She does not have any verbal commands on her yet, and what we're going to do is I'm going to use this dog to get this chore done. I need to get these cattle out the gate. Now they are standing at the gate that they need to go out of, so I'm going to put the dog on the long line. I'm going to treat this the exact same way that I would want her to treat the cattle if she was not on line. So I would take her around the cattle, not straight in. I would give them a clear exit. So I'm going to move them away from the gate so that I can get there, open it, and then I will take her around to funnel them through the gate, going slowly. So I don't want to rush them through. I don't want to see any bad behavior from the dog, so I will correct with the long line. So if she goes in the wrong place, I'm going to gently guide her to the right place. If she's pulling on the line, I'm going to correct her and move her further out to reduce the excitement. If she starts barking or lunging, I'm going to give her a or a hey, just give her a correction, kind of give her a little pop on the long line if I think I need to, and then back her out probably further away from the cattle to reduce that level of stress and adrenaline that she's having. So let me get the dog and we'll give this a go. Age is not important on this. You can start doing this kind of thing from a young age. What is important is the attitude of the dog and how you handle your cattle. You definitely want to see behavior out of the dog that you want to see for the rest of their life. So again, lunging and barking, getting worked up, getting overexcited, reaching in and grabbing for no reason, not needed. You're there, you should be able to help the dog move the cattle. This is a confidence building behavior. It's something that you can do to set some boundaries in a young dog early on. Give them the opportunity to see a job, see it being done, and be a help to you. This isn't necessarily a training behavior or training exercise, but it will transfer later on. So everything you allow out of the dog from the beginning is what you will see pop up at the end when your training has progressed to that point. I don't really care if the dog looks at the cattle because I'm going to have them on a line and I can put them in the right place, okay? So if your dog is not keyed into the cattle yet, that's fine. You're going to set them up for success because if the dog needs you as basically a backup or a confidence builder, you're going to keep the dog closer into you. If the dog thinks that they can go out ahead of you a little bit, as long as their mind is in the right place, you can allow that. Just use the lead for control. So we don't want to get in a position where the dog dives in and you have to let go of the lead for safety reasons, because then usually that means that the dog was probably in too close or doing something they shouldn't have been doing to begin with. So we're going to kind of go in. I'm going to keep the dog on my right side here, probably keep the leash pretty short to begin with. We're going to go in, move these guys off the gate, open our gate, and then come back around and sweep these guys toward the gate. You can use your commands. So at this point, this is an away flank. I can tell this dog away. When we get to where we need to start pushing cattle forward, I can tell her there, walk. I can use my stop command, but you do need to reinforce it. You have the lead, you can reinforce, meaning if I tell her away, I can make her go the away direction. If I tell her to stop, I can make her stop, okay? Away. Treat this chore to keep them safe, to build that confidence, to show your cattle that the dog is part of your team and will be helping you move your cattle. Does not matter the size of the pen. It does not necessarily matter how many cattle that you're trying to move, but you are trying to get a job done. You can do this in alleyways, you can do this in holding pens, you can do this through your corral system. The main thing is to keep your cattle calm, to keep your dog calm, build that confidence, let them be successful, and then when your dog progresses in their training, the line can come off, the dog will obey the command. What's important is that your cattle are always learning how the dog is going to handle them. The dog's always learning how to handle cattle. So just keeping it low stress for your cattle, keeping yourself and the dog safe, and getting the job accomplished. And that's going to help you build that confidence in the dog and show them the jobs that they're going to be doing in the future. And also starting to get your cattle accustomed to moving off a dog, because you're right there to ensure that your dog is successful and that we don't end up in a wreck.